Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. On Sunday, Pope Francis celebrated Palm Sunday Mass in St. Peter's Square to begin Holy Week. Before the Mass, tens of thousands of people carrying palms and olive branches joined the Pope during a solemn procession in the square. The procession was led by hundreds of young people who were in Rome for World Youth Day. Later, the youths from Poland handed the World Youth Day cross to young representatives from Panama, where the next international gathering will be held in January of 2019. After the Mass, at his Angelus address, the Pope prayed for victims of recent terrorist attacks. Rome Reports has more on that story from St. Peter's Square.
Before the Angelus prayer at the end of Palm Sunday Mass, Pope Francis wanted to remember the victims of terrorism, in particular those from the Stockholm truck attack.
Al Cristo che oggi entra nella passione e alla Vergine Santa affidiamo le vittime dell'attentato terroristico avvenuto venerdì scorso a Stoccolma, come anche quanti sono ancora duramente provati dalla guerra, sciagura dell'umanità.
Unfortunately, while the Palm Sunday ceremony was taking place, another attack took place in a Coptic church in Egypt, in the city of Tanta, 56 miles north of Cairo. The Pope remembered the victims and asked for the conversion of terrorists and those who sell weapons.
E anche l'attentato di quello compiuto purtroppo oggi, questa mattina al Cairo, in una chiesa copta. Il Signore converta i cuori delle persone che seminano terrore, violenza e morte e anche il cuore di quelli che fanno e trafficano le armi.
In this attack in the city of Tanta, 28 people died. Terror struck the Christians of Egypt a few hours later when a suicide bomber blew himself up at the entrance to another parish in Alexandria, where the Coptic Pope Theodore II was celebrating a service. While he was unharmed, 16 people died. In total, there were more than 100 people injured, and the president has decreed a state of emergency for the next 3 months. In just 20 days, Pope Francis will visit Egypt to send a message of unity with Islam in the face of terrorism.
And despite those attacks, according to Vatican spokesman Greg Burke, the Pope's trip to Egypt is proceeding as scheduled on April 28th and 29th. In news now from around the country, the Arizona Catholic Conference released a statement praising the expansion of an Arizona school choice program that will allow any kindergarten through 12th grade student to use state funds to pay for private school, including those run by churches or other educational expenses. The legislation will make the Empowerment Scholarship Account Program, or ESA, open to all Arizona students by the 2020-2021 school year. Currently, the program is limited to certain students, such as those who have disabilities, those with special needs, students attending failing public schools, and children of active duty military members. The program offers 90% of what the state would spend on a student's public school education. More news now from the Vatican. Pilgrims and tourists are flocking to Rome during this Holy Week. The city is expecting the large numbers of people and is well prepared to handle the crowds.
The Eternal City prepares for Holy Week with great devotion and prudence. It is expecting 1 million tourists, and while there is no immediate threat, the security measures have not diminished in the slightest.
We feel very safe. It's always heartbreaking to see the need for all that security.
Bastante controlado todo, con mucha policía y muchos militares.
Sí, pero personalmente yo creo que no me sentí en ningún momento demasiado cohibida.
Many tourists come to Rome to spend their holidays and soak up culture, but a large part come for religious reasons. Among the pilgrims' favorite stops are the Basilica of the Holy Cross in Jerusalem, where some of the relics of the Passion of Christ and the holy stairs are guarded, which Jesus climbed to meet Pilate the day he was sentenced to death. Meanwhile, the locations of Holy Week events are prepared: the Colosseum for the Way of the Cross on Good Friday and St. Peter's Square. Pope Francis will preside over all ceremonies, and on Holy Thursday, he will visit a jail located more than 30 miles from the Eternal City to partake in the washing of the feet.
And finally in the news, the Papal Almoners Office announced this week that it's opening up the Pope Francis Laundry for the poor and homeless of Rome. The laundromat is located in a building already housing services run by the Rome-based community of San Egidio, which will also maintain the facility and add other essential services for the city's poor, including showers, a barbershop, and a medical clinic. The poor and homeless will be able to wash, dry, and iron their clothes and blankets. Archbishop Konrad Krajewski, the Papal Almoner, said that 6 brand new washers and dryers were donated by the Whirlpool Corporation, while Procter & Gamble will provide a free supply of laundry detergent and fabric softener for the new facility. Well, that is all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week. The Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.